and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, with some Barça news coming your way, as we are going to be discussing the big words from Frenkie de Jong whilst away on international duty for the Netherlands, and whether those words should prompt a system change at Barcelona to get the best out of him and the team. We're also going to be talking about the Super League and whether that is about to make its return, and my personal thoughts on the competition, plus as well the news surrounding Gerard Pique and Shakira. A lot of people have been asking me about that, so it's going to be discussed. Coming right up. Let's do it. But if we do start on the international front, because after Gavi's fantastic performance for Spain on Thursday against Portugal in the Nations League, it was yet another breathtaking midfield display, and yet again just highlighting all of the young man's quality and what he can bring both Spain and Barcelona in the years to come. But on Friday, it was the turn of the Netherlands, and yet more Barça-based quality on the international stage, as the Netherlands destroyed Belgium by 4-1 in the Nations League. 2 of those goals coming from our very own Memphis Depay, who continues to move closer to the very top of their all-time goal scorers list. But it was Frenkie de Jong who really did steal the headlines, first of all, with a terrific midfield performance showcasing all of his quality throughout the game. But it was actually the words after it which really did generate plenty of conversation, because Frenkie said after the game, "I like to be the first player to receive the ball from the defenders." He said, "The way that I play here in the national team, it's completely different from the way that I play at Barça." He said, "And I think this one suits me better." So De Jong there openly admitting that maybe he doesn't feel at Barça as comfortable as he does with the national team. He feels as though he's more suited to their style of play and their setup, as opposed to what we see on a weekly basis at his club. Because of course, throughout the season, we have seen Frenkie de Jong there deployed mostly as an interior in our midfield. Of course, usually it would be Busquets in that lone holding role, and then somebody like Pedri alongside Frenkie as a trio. And in that position, de Jong, he's been good, he's had good displays, he's had good moments, but I think he's lacked consistency. And I think he feels the same way as that too. At times you can see him bursting forward, you can see him helping out defensively, but there are times when he's very much caught in the middle and he hasn't really stamped down a specific role. But on the flip side of that, many people often say, well, just play de Jong in his best position then. Just replace Busquets with de Jong, play him as the holding midfielder. That's where he wants to be. But you'd also have to say, if you've watched de Jong as the lone defensive midfielder, that is also not his best position. He is not somebody who can play in there on his own. We've seen it at Barça and it hasn't worked out. You have to hold your hands up and say that, which is why the big problem is his ideal role, the role that we see him in with the Netherlands, the role that we even saw him in at Ajax. It doesn't exist at Barça. In our current system, it simply does not exist. And that is why I'm talking now about change. Because given the arrival as well this summer of Frenkie de Jong, could the argument be made, if we keep Frenkie de Jong, to change shape in our midfield? Is it possible to see a double pivot with Kessié? That would be his best position. With Frenkie de Jong, that would be his best position. The two of them actually working there together in that holding role. And then ahead of them, somebody like Pedri. Of course, there's other players in midfield, Gavi, Busquets, Nico, all of these different ones. But just to highlight here, the two in midfield holding, would that work? With Frenkie there, with Kessié there, is there an argument to change shape? But then part of me also feels right now, looking at those words from Frenkie de Jong, looking at all the rumours that we're hearing right now, are those also the words of somebody maybe who knows his time is running out? Is de Jong speaking here about his time at Barça, about the fact that he's not quite being utilised in the right way? Is he saying that now because he can see himself leaving? And I just wonder here, we're talking about changing shape, we're talking about the fact that actually Kessié and de Jong, I think there would be potential for those two together, but is de Jong going to be here? Are we going to be thinking about de Jong in our team next season? at all. But I do, guys, want to move on here to some talk about the Super League, because according to rumours in the media, that is yet another reason as to why Barça don't want to sign La Liga's CVC deal, because signing that deal would effectively put an end to their interest in the Super League, which is also why Florentino Perez and Real Madrid also won't sign it, among other reasons too. And the Super League project is certainly one that is very much alive. Because coming up very soon indeed, the very latest court case will take place there in the European Court of Justice, and it will be the Super League versus UEFA. The court dates there are set for July the 11th and also July the 12th, and that is set to be a very decisive case indeed, given that up to this point, the Super League have won every single case against UEFA. And you feel like if this one goes again in the favour of the Super League, there is every chance that we could see it return. This time with fresh ideas, fresh communication on how to reform the game that we love. And I often, guys, get a lot of questions about my personal thoughts on the Super League. You know, how do I feel about it now compared to how we all felt about it when it first appeared on the scenes? And I think straight away you've got to say, when the Super League first came along, it was a massive shock to everybody. I think it was very much unexpected, and straight away, you don't want change. When something comes along to sort of alter everything that we know, I think you're scared of it. There is panic, there is confusion, and I think Florentino Perez actually did quite a poor job of explaining it properly, of actually there showcasing the tournament to the footballing world. I don't think it was communicated very well at all, and there's lots that they could have done to improve the way that it was presented. But the idea is still there. The concept of the Super League very much remains, and I could never ever get behind a closed league. I think if they want to say, look, we have a list of these teams, they're all going to be in a league forever, we're going to be battling it out every single year, and there's no change, that wouldn't work. It is as simple as that, and I could never ever support that. But I don't think there's going to be that anymore. I think the Super League are very much open here to an open competition now. It's going to be very, very different to what was originally proposed. And I think UEFA, what you've got to say about them is, they're not the good guys. I think during the whole Super League saga, a lot of people sort of lauded them as the saviours of football, the people who've saved our game. UEFA, FIFA, they don't care about football. All they care about is themselves. And we see that on a regular basis by the amount of games that they keep piling on our players, about the fixture congestion, about the non-stop international tournaments where seeing players are being overworked for money, for UEFA, for FIFA. And you only need to look at UEFA's own Champions League reform plans. What they've actually came up with, that it almost seemed like they used the Super League to sort of slip these under the radar. The fact that they're actually gifting Champions League spots in the future, basically, and also piling up more and more and more games, which in the end could turn out to be pointless in what they changed there as the group stage. Not just that either, but just look at the way that they handled the Champions League final, for instance. The absolute circus that was, organised by UEFA. So by no means at all should they be protected against everything. I think competition is certainly good, and I think if the Super League came back with a bit more transparency and communicated in a better way, putting the power back in the hands of clubs instead of governing bodies like UEFA, I think we have to listen to it. And I think we should take these proposals seriously, because like I say, after that court case, do not be surprised if the Super League returns. Finally though, guys, I do just want to address the constant rumours right now that are surrounding Gerard Pique and Shakira and their personal situation. A lot of people, like I say, have been asking me to comment on all of these rumours, and I wasn't going to, because there have been so many different things flying around in the media. I'm actually very, very glad that today both Pique and Shakira have issued a joint statement. They have said, we regret to confirm that we are parting ways. For the well-being of our children, of course, Pique and Shakira have 2 young children who are our highest priority. We ask that you respect their privacy. Thank you for your understanding. And that there is 11 years of being together coming to an end. And I think it is very sad. That's the first thing that I would say. I will always remember the way that Gerard Pique and, of course, Shakira met at the 2010 World Cup. It was a fantastic tournament, that one. Lots of joy, lots of incredible memories. And, of course, those 2 getting together. And ever since, at least from the outside, you think of them like the model couple. Like the 2 people who you just never think will separate or ever leave each other's side. But, of course, you never know from the outside what's going on. And that's what I want to say here, guys, because I think what we have to do now is give them some space. The media will speculate, of course they will. These are 2 very, very high-profile celebrities. They're just going to speculate and rumour. That's just what the media do. But I don't think that's fair, especially like they say with the young children involved. It is not fair on them right now. This is a sensitive situation. This is people's lives here that the media are just playing with. Let's give them that privacy. Let's give them that respect. And it is just unfortunate that it had to end in this way. So please, guys, do leave your thoughts in the comments down below today on a range of different topics there. What did you make of Frenkie de Jong's word? Can you see where he is coming from? Can you see a way to actually provide a solution for that in the Barcelona team? And would you think about maybe changing the setup of our midfield in the season to come? Also, let me know, of course, there, your thoughts as well, your personal thoughts on the Super League. Please do let me know all of that good stuff down below. And I will be seeing you soon, with plenty more videos to come. Thank you all for your fantastic support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.